Very good morning, everyone. It's George Bayruthi from FS Securities, giving you the market report for Friday, the 29th of July, 2022. These are our contact details. That's my mobile phone number. If you're ringing from overseas, you need to put the country code, which is 61 for Australia, and you don't need the 0. 61 and the number without the 0. George at fssecurities.com.au is my email address if you want to write to me. Let's have a look and see what happened overnight. On Wall Street, the Dow was up 1%, the S&P 500 1.25%, and the Nasdaq 0.9%. In New York BHP up 0.6%, Rio up 0.2%. Tesla, Apple and Amazon were all up overnight. In Europe, the Stoxx 50 index, which comprises most major European markets, was up 1.2% on the back of the French CAC up 1.3% and the DAX in Germany up 0.8%. The futures this morning are indicating most likely the market will open higher by 52 points and to 6,843. About 7-8 months ago, the highest level we've seen was 7,600. Spot gold 1,751 and 84 cents US per ounce, and Brent crude oil up 0.3% to $106.90 US per barrel, and West Texas crude oil $96.72, down 0.6%. Iron ore price was up 4.4% to $117.35. Remember, only a few months ago it was $160.20 US. And actually about a year ago or more, it was actually above $200 US per ton. The Australian dollar 69.79, down 0.2%. The 10-year yield in America, which affects the long-term borrowers, 2.68 versus 2.76 the day before. In Australia, it's slightly down from 3.24 down to 3.2. As a matter of interest, the lowest level for the 10-year yield in America was 1.54, and the highest was 3.36 only a few weeks ago. In Australia, the highest was 4.2%, down to 3.2% this morning, and the very lowest level was actually 1.76%, maybe more than a year ago. Bitcoin 24,000 US, converting to 34,300, and that is actually in Australia nearly $1,700 higher. As a matter of interest, the very highest level in the last couple of years was 88,900 Australian dollars, dropping to 40,700, dropping further and further, and then regaining a few more momentum in the last few weeks. All right, let's have a look and see the big picture. Now, over the last 4 days, this is what we had yesterday morning, this is this morning, and you can see that the Dow was up 5.11 over the last month, and still down 6.9% over the year. The S&P 500 down nearly 7.5%, and the Nasdaq down 17.6%. European, the FTSE up, the German down nearly 15%. Slight improvement from the day before. In Asia, Nikkei up 3.77% last month, up 0.12% over the year. Our market in Australia, the last month we were up 2.8%, better than the 0.88% the day before. And you can see here the last month 2.8%, and the last 12 months we are down 7.1%. Gold, $37.10 up over the last 4 days. Silver up 8.3%, and copper, the global economic barometer, up 3.87%. Crude oil, West Texas crude oil, 0.5% higher over the last 4 days, and the Brent is up nearly 4% over the last 4 days. And the Australian dollar, almost steady, 0.5% up. Looking at the advances and decline, here we have yesterday 33% of all the stocks declined. And you can see here over the last 5 weeks, the blue, which represent the advances in percentage or in numbers, and they were actually higher than the declines. So we have a momentum at the moment on the short term. Looking at the chart, I'm going to put the chart for you for the ASX 200, the Australian market. And you can see here the black line, that is the 200-day moving average, happens to be above the purple, which is the 100-day moving average, above the 50-day moving average in the orange. You can see sometime about several months ago, we've seen it, the pink has been below the 200. The 100 is below the 200 for quite some time. The 50, on the other hand, flirted with the 200, and now it's below. So the long term, we are bearish. The short term, parabolic stop and reverse, represented by those red dots, happen to be below the candles. That's bullish. MACD, bullish. Stochastic, bullish. RSI, bullish. The short-term aspects or prospective trend for the ASX 200, we are bullish. However, the long-term happens to be by the 3 colored thick lines, 200, 150, we are still bearish. Finally, I want to show you what we traded for our client and our portfolios. This was sent this morning. Zip, Whitehaven Coal, Siona Mineral Resources Center, and Temple and Webb. All these companies have actually given us some very good profit since we opened these portfolios less than a month ago. Remember, we close all our positions before the end of June. That's the end of the financial year. We capitalize on maximizing or minimizing the tax liabilities, and we started to trade again from the 7th of July 2022. We're still holding a lot of cash. Each of these portfolios, we have $250,000 to start with. And you can see here we spent only $22,000, $32,000, and $20,000 for those 3 portfolios. And you can see that since we opened the trade, to compare how we're doing against the ASX 200, which was 3.64% higher since the 7th of July. However, since the 7th of July, we have outperformed the market. You can see here the momentum, and that is mainly thanks to Zip, which has given us some very good profit. and also the trend. So you can see that we are doing very well as far as our portfolios. And these are our trade. We trade Appen, Greenland and Sayona for the aggressive trade. For the conservative trade, we have ANZ, BHP, James Hardie, Mineral Resources, Centre and Whitehaven. And Whitehaven, Centre and Mineral Resources, as you can see here, have given us very, very good decent profit. Alright, let's move on. We show you now the stocks with higher volume. Nothing at the moment in the top 50. Stocks with market capitalization of $1 billion and plus. However, below 1 billion, we have here the mid cap. And I mentioned TPW, Temple and Webster. It was $4. The price was up 13.6%. And the volume was, yesterday's volume was 1.5 times the moving average of the volume over 50 days. So each day we look at the volume for the last 50 days, 50 trading days, and we work out, we compute the moving average. And then we compare that moving average with the last volume. And you can see here the last volume was higher. Then we also look at the fair value, and we find that $9.54 is the fair value for Temple and Webster. Bellevue Gold, we have 56% fair value, 77 cents the last trade, which was up 1.3%, and last trade volume was almost the same as the moving average. Finally, we look at the most active trades. Kogan, we are now trading Kogan, up 50% yesterday. And look, the last price was $4.70 and the fair value is $10.38. 120%, almost double the price at the moment. Sezzle, also another good trade. Zip and Mineral Resources and so on. By the way, if you want a copy of this presentation, all you have to do is talk to us. This is our phone number. If you ring it from overseas, 61 is the country code. You don't need a 0. 61 411 25 9526. Or you can write to me at George at FS. FS stands for full service. George at fssecurities.com.au. Happy trading, and I hope you make some money.